Hey YouTube, Mark Hoffman here, and today I'm going to be doing part 3 of my year-end roundup of my knife collection. And right now we are going through my modern traditionals. These are knives that are using modern materials while also being a slip joint. And you may notice that there may be a few missing, so we'll go through these, and this will be part 3. I already have the other 2 parts posted on my YouTube if you want to take a look at that. And the way I'm setting this up is, excuse me, my expensive modern knives, my mid-range modern knives, and then my modern traditionals, and then last will be my part 4 will be my traditionals. So we're going to start with the Gano from Lion Steel, designed by Gudi van Poppel, who is I believe he's a Danish knife designer who, I mean, as far as I can tell, has incredible designs. And this has been the best steak knife I can ever carry in my pocket. This seriously has been it's been a fantastic knife. This little bead at the end here, not bead, but crimp at the end really allows you to lock in, and then you have a choil here, and you just get a good hold and a tough spring on that. So very interesting knife indeed, and it is in this nice wood pattern here. And I do carry this. I do have a few battle scars on it already. There's one right there on the titanium. So I mean, I don't baby this thing. You wouldn't know it by the steel, but I usually use this in the kitchen. So far this has really been a great slicer, great kitchen knife, and a great piercer, which does a wonderful job of opening up food packages. So really a great knife indeed. So next we're going to go to the CR, and you can see I failed that. Well, everybody else is able to do it except me. There we go. The CRKT Pylar from Heine Haynes. And this Pylar, let's be up front, I have changed out the bushings. Let's see if I can... You can probably see the reflection of them. I've changed out the bushings to phosphor bronze bushings, and this is a non-locking version of the Pylar by Jesper Voxnes. And this is, you can only get this version from Heine Haynes, and for the money, this is fantastic. It has a pretty weak detent, but you can keep that blade from closing up on you by keeping your finger in that choil. And I have found that when you are pushing against something, you don't have to worry about it doing this on you. If you're pushing against something, it's going to keep it open. And this knife has been absolutely fantastic. I do carry it. The red G10 does seem to stain pretty... I mean, not horribly, but it does seem to stain. But we do have a nice deep carry tip down pocket clip. But look at those recessed screws. Really nice on this knife. And this actually replaced my original Pylar. I got rid of my Pylar, and I preferred the slip joint version. This uses 2 springs. You can see one there, and then the other one's on the other side. So it uses 2 sets of 2 springs to keep that blade locked in place. So there's the CRKT Pylar. Now, next is going to be a knife that is actually from a good buddy of mine. He gave me a gift card to Blade HQ and said, hey, buy something nice. I added 35 bucks onto that, and I was able to get the Savivi Trailblazer, and I chose the orange because I just felt like the orange looked the best. The black looked plain, and then the blue, just the blue, I have had enough blue knives, and I needed an orange. And this is a modern slip joint from Savivi. We've got a very strong spring on that, I would probably put the pull at a 6 or 7, and then this final pull probably an 8. I mean, it's got a great spring on it, but man, is that a handsome knife. Let's look at it against the CRKT Pylar. And so we can see that, yeah, it's a large blade. It's definitely bigger, but let's find out here really quick. I don't have my tape measure here. I will use this. We are measuring out on the blade length at the cutting blade length, because that's what's really important. I'm sorry this is taking me so long. 70 millimeters. So we've got a really nice blade length here, and this blade is stupid thin. Let's look at the millimeters behind the edge, and it is 0.32 millimeters. So pretty thin. I'm estimating that. I didn't get the exact behind the edge, but I mean, that's close enough. But you can see that this is a very slicey. Let's try and get that. You can see that that is going to be a very slicey knife. I mean, like the blade almost seems to disappear. There we go. So, I mean, yeah, stupid thin, really slicey. I hope that demonstrated that really well. But we've got a wonderful spring here and a handsome package and a deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws. So people are starting to catch on. And I will say, I'm not too crazy about the nail nick. I do use my nail primarily when I'm opening this, because my fat fingers, they can grip that, but I prefer just put my nail in there and then pull it. So there it is, the Savivi Trailblazer, one heck of a knife for about 75 bucks. And the thing that I really like, I don't use them very often, but I like that they did it. There is a lanyard hole right in the back here, recessed. Gonna be very nice and flush back there if you don't want to have it, but it's also there if you need it. So next is my last modern slip joint, and that is the MKM Root by Jens Anzo. And this knife is fantastic. I have this in the bronze titanium, and this thing is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Real nice little handle here. You can still get all your fingers up on it. Good, strong spring, and great action. Now, the spring, I will say, is not as, I mean, I can just do that all day. You do have a back spring, but it's not as strong as, per se, the Savivi, and it's nearly not even close to the Gitano from Line Steel. I mean, but that also, I mean, the pull on this isn't as bad, but that lock, man, on this one is so much better. But I don't find that a hindrance when using it. I'm usually pushing away from me and not cutting towards me, so I'm not worried about it. Instead of a nail nick on this, though, we have these 3 holes here, which enable you to get a little bit of a grip on the blade. You can still pinch it and just pull it open. But this also, the lack of sound on the action may be because the pivot's dirty. I do carry this one a lot, but it was a lot snappier when I first got it, and it may just be dirty. But oh yeah, you can see that there is some lint and dirt in there. I mean, you can see some specks of stuff in there. But yeah, it's still wonderful. And the steel we're using is M390. Absolutely wonderful stuff. I did add a sharpening choil on this one. So this is not stock, this choil here. I added that because I prefer to sharpen these freehand, and on this one, I feel like the sharpening choil will assist me in sharpening it. So yeah, that's it. I mean, that is my collection of modern slip joints. And yes, it's modest. I used to have more, but that is my collection. And you're probably wondering, well, hey, why do you have modern slip joints where you could probably carry, oh, let's see, something I've got laying around here. Why carry that when you could carry this? Well, because some knife laws don't allow me to carry this in certain states. So yeah, I want to have these because let's say I decide to move somewhere and their laws are different. I can keep these. These are going to be able to go anywhere and be anywhere, whereas this might not. So, I mean, you've got choices here, and you've got very different designs. You've got a more industrial looking design here. You have a more futuristic, I would even say Halo-esque design here. And then you have a more, I wouldn't even say this is modern, but organic design. And then here you have the closest to the traditional with the wood and the bolster look here. But it allows many different avenues of design for my collection, and these are the 4 that I have decided to keep. Now, why do I have these? I've mentioned the knife laws, but also why do I have modern traditionals? Some people may be asking me, oh, well, you know, why don't you just carry a case knife? Which I do, but I mean, why not just carry that? These are fun. I mean, that's simply the truth about it. This has G10. This has reinforced wood. G10, titanium, anodized, steel, stone-washed, titanium, bead blasted. I mean, you've got all these different designs. Why limit yourself? I hate to use this as an example, but why limit yourself to this? I mean, this is still a cool knife, don't get me wrong, but there's so many great designs being offered as modern traditionals. So these are my 4 modern traditionals, and that is the end of my part 3. Part 4 is probably going to be the longest video, unless if I just lay everything out here and just talk about them as I go down the list. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with my traditionals. I have sold a bunch of them, but I mean, I still have quite a few. So I may have to exclude a few out of, maybe they're in disarray. I do collect some vintage ones, but we will get to that bridge soon. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. I'm sorry this one ran a little longer than usual, but I just had a lot to talk about these 4 knives. So thank you guys again for joining me. I hope you guys have a great, and gals, have a great day or night wherever you might be.